Hello, hello. I'm here with Raiford Palmer, author of I Just Want This Done, a widely read, well enjoyed, for the topic book. Rafe, how you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you, Joshua.
Yeah, let's see that bad boy you got there. Your prop. Woo! Feels good to have the finished product in your hands there. So tell us a little bit about what this book is about.
This book is about a better way to get divorced. I found that there was nothing out there to help our people in our space in the divorce world with real practical advice. The kind of stuff that I would tell my best friend if they were getting divorced, not the rote stuff that you can Google, but the stuff people really want to know. The sort of the secrets divorce lawyers don't tell, and the things that could be most valuable for people who are considering getting divorced or divorcing. And I never saw a book like it, and I'd always thought there was a book in me.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, what makes your book different is unlike other books and even lawyers, of course, who advise what you call World War III, making it a brutal, difficult, and very expensive, drawn-out process. You talk about a different way, which is much faster, it's much cheaper, with much less melodrama. Not that divorce is, okay, it's a few $100 and you're good to go. But relative to the alternative, the divorce lawyer makes less money, but there's less heartache relative to divorce. And the thing you say about divorce, I think you said divorce is the intersection of love, sex, money, and children, all the things that we hold dear. And lawyers have a vested interest in making that severance as painful and as long and as expensive as possible. And so they will sometimes advise their clients to do things that are not in their best interest, but get them paid.
Yeah, or certainly they won't stop the client when the client's id, if you will, is out of control. There isn't a strong incentive for lawyers to say no or to tell their clients no. One of the things I talk about in the book is it's hard for lawyers to say no, but being realistic with clients is really, really important. And I'd rather grow our business by having satisfied clients who are treated well rather than burning everybody out of their money. I'd rather get good reviews on Google and have 3 more clients come in the door rather than spend somebody out of their money and treat them poorly. I want to get up in the morning and feel like I'm doing right by people.
Gotcha. What's the biggest response, most common response you're getting to the book from readers?
People are they're very excited about it. They've never seen a book like it. They love reading the personal stories that we tell in the book about real clients. And it really resonates with people. The message is really resonating with people. And clearly, one of the things I'm very happy about is they're reading the whole book. You can tell by the things they tell us. They come in for consultations or feedback I'm getting on social media is stuff that's deep in the book. They're clearly engaging with all the content, not just the first chapter or 2. So I'm very grateful for your guidance on that and making the book not only educational, but entertaining.
And that brings up a useful question, which is what made you want to get outside help with this book process rather than try to write it yourself and figure it out yourself and go from idea for a book to a book yourself?
First of all, the time element, I thought, okay, I didn't know how much time it would take. I knew it'd be a lot, and I wasn't sure if I could get it all done. And I had no idea where to start. So I did some research and initially thought about ghostwriting or hiring a ghostwriter. And that's where I found you on Twitter, actually, which was really fortuitous. And we talked about it, and I thought I could either ghostwrite or have maybe somebody could guide me. And we worked out an arrangement where you're able to give me excellent hands-on guidance through the whole process. And I wanted to do the writing because I felt like I needed to do the actual writing. It was something I wanted to be able to tell people that I really wrote the book. I needed to feel like at least I wrote the draft. And but I needed guidance. I've never done market research. I've never researched Amazon. I don't know how the marketplace worked. I wasn't familiar with marketing a book. I wasn't familiar with how it should be structured. I think you think, well, I'll just write all this advice in a book, and people will buy it. And nothing could be further from the truth, as you've taught me and I've learned since.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's all very, very helpful. I really appreciate you sharing that. It was fun because when we would meet each week, we would pull up, the stuff that you'd written, and then I would add to it or change or tweak it, or I'd ask you things about it. And it was really like a collaborative process, which ironically is what you call the divorce process that you recommend to clients, a collaborative divorce. And that completely changes what people perceive as being like a battle, like we're going into mediation and my ex and this war and so many things that are difficult part of this process for people. And the fact is, if you are divorcing, that doesn't mean you'll never talk to the person again.
Right.
In fact, it means that they will still be in your life.
Right.
And so if we allow ourselves to go crazy all over the person and have the lawyers and stick the lawyers on them, and get the judge to do this and do that, then you're causing even more troubles for yourself down the line. And that's probably why people read so much of the book, is because it's a perspective that they're not seeing anywhere else.
Yeah, and it's become a bestseller on Amazon. The audiobook was #1 in divorce and separation in Audible when it was a new release, which was really gratifying. And you've really helped me not only with structuring the book, teaching me about the process, then coaching me through the process and the editing and all these aspects about writing a nonfiction book that I didn't know about and I desperately needed help with. And I didn't know I would enjoy the process so much. I really looked forward to our meetings every week. I was excited to meet with you and go through the chapters as we were working on them together. And I really felt like you were fully invested in my success, which I appreciate so much, because I think a lot of people render a service and they just sort of punch the clock and do the work. But I felt like you truly were dedicated to making this book a winner from the beginning. And that was very valuable to me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. In fact, I feel like it's been maybe almost 2 years since we first chatted about you doing a book. And here we are all this time later, and it's fantastic. For people who are intrigued by the title, intrigued by the topic, can you say who exactly is this book for, and then who it's not for?
The book is for professionals, entrepreneurs, executives, but really it would appeal to anybody who's considering a divorce. But it's, I think, most appropriate for people who are kind of have something to lose, and they're concerned about their kids, their money, and their sanity. It is targeted at our firm's ideal client, that kind of person. But the nice thing about that is when you write for that ideal person, most people see themselves in that person. And I've found it has broad appeal. People that I'm selling the books in England. I'm selling them in Canada. I've sold books in Australia. And I'm an Illinois divorce lawyer. I don't know anything about British or Commonwealth divorce law, but the principles are applicable anywhere. And I'm selling books in Europe too, beyond England. So that's been pretty fascinating. I've been on podcasts with a British lawyer, a British divorce coach, or I should say a barrister, and a British divorce coach. And these opportunities never would have come along. I was interviewed on Canadian Sirius XM satellite radio a few weeks ago on the morning show about the book. And these opportunities all came from the book and the authority that it has given me. I know the old line of author comes out of authority. It's the root of authority. And it's true. And nobody would have ever talked to me had I not had this book.
What are some other doors that are opening and opportunities generated because you've had the book and for the law firm itself?
So we've been able to get clients we weren't getting before, folks that have seen the book or heard about it through social media, read the book, and then seeing the positive reviews on Amazon. That gives cachet to the law firm, which has been a plus. And then also I've had opportunity to be on major podcasts and meet people I never would have met. I was on the Boss Babe podcast over the summer. Danielle and Natalie at Boss Babe, they have 3.5 million, or probably more than that now, but 3.5 million plus followers on Instagram. They're huge. I'm meeting the life coaches, people involved in those areas of business. And I really hadn't had an occasion to meet them before. And there's so many aspects of the book that you help me flesh out that are more than just divorce law, that make it interesting to a wide variety of people.
Gotcha. If there's a number one reason why it makes sense to have guidance through this process rather than to DIY it or kind of piecemeal it together with this person and that person and whatnot, what would that reason be?
A unified product that's elegant. So one person who has the knowledge of the process like you do creates a unified, tightly crafted product. And the biggest compliment I get about the book is people think it's from a professional publisher, a major publisher. So they don't realize it's my own self-created publishing company. But the quality of the book, everything from the cover to the layout to the writing is, and my goal was to have a book that would look like it was from a major publisher. I wanted our client, who is my ideal client, who's a consumer of business books and, is constantly reading, they're expecting a top quality product. And you were able to deliver a book that has the look and feel and content of a book published by a major publisher.
And that's huge. That's huge for credibility and also the protection of brand value you currently have, because I think we've all seen someone who is really good at marketing themselves. They now have this book coming out, and you buy the book and you open it up and there's no copyright page and the table of contents is weird, justified to the right, and you haven't even read any of it yet, and you're like, something is not right here.
Right.
And then you read the first sentence and it's like, wow, somebody interviewed this person and transcribed it, and this is the interview transcript.
Yeah.
They just removed the uhs and the ums and the typos. And what do you now feel? You now feel this is not a serious person. They talked up this book, and my first introduction to this person's premium content is a disgrace to the brand.
Really, and it negatively impacts the credibility. It damages the credibility.
It would have been better to not write a book at all.
Yes.
If it's not going to look like it was by a major publisher, you shouldn't even do it at all. Right?
And one of the reasons why you and I got along so well, or I thought you were the person for the job, was you said right at the outset, hey, if you're hiring me, we're going to write a book that sells. You said, we're going to write a bestseller. And I kind of chuckled like, oh, this guy's just selling me a line, but you delivered. And obviously I had to do my part, but you delivered and then some. And all I can tell people who are thinking about this is definitely talk to Joshua, because your work is outstanding. You cared about me from beginning to end, and then some. And you delivered more than your promises, which I'm very thankful for. Couldn't have done it without you. And you encouraged me to do the audiobook. You said you need to record it yourself. You really helped me through every step of the process and then some. I had questions about marketing. You helped me get the marketing launched, which was great because I had no idea how to market a first book. So really outstanding.
All right. I got one more question for you, Raif. And that's probably one of the questions that's on most people's minds is the ROI there? Like if I'm investing in the book as this literary asset, this intellectual property, is it worth paying for? Isn't it could be maybe a break even or a labor of love, or it took 20 years, but it got there? How would you answer that question?
It's definitely on the positive side. The ROI is definitely there and then some. Initially you're going to spend money, but you have to spend money to make money if you're attempting to make a serious effort. And you're right. The distinction between the vanity projects out there and real books is worth spending the money. The investment is well worth it. The book is making money online, the sales through Amazon and everything, but through the follow-on products and the glow that I'm getting around the law firm, the additional business we're getting is well worth it. And that's one thing I would say to new authors is don't consider the book itself a profit-making item, although it can be. Think of it as a business card and think of the follow-on business that you get from it. It's tremendous. It's multiples and multiples past the initial investment in time and money.
And that's the best way to say it, by Raiford Palmer here. Raif, it's been such a blast to chat with you here, talk about your book, I Just Want This Done, available from all the major online retailers. We've got the hardcover, paperbacks, ebook, audiobook. And as the title would suggest, it is for people who are considering maybe this marriage thing has met its end, but I don't want to lose everything in the divorce process. You have too much to lose, but you don't necessarily want to make it worse. You want it to be as painless and as the least heartbreaking it can be. Not to say it's not going to be heartbreaking, but the least pain it can be. That's what I just want this done. We'll help you do. Raif, thanks for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Joshua. Thanks. Have a great day.
Sure thing. Thank you.